friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is May Day. Happy May 1st. So exciting. I love the 1st of May. I don't know why. It just feels fresh. And summer is here. Here in Virginia, we had sort of a coolish snap just before May 1st. And I went like from in the 50s to 80 the next day. So it was kind of fun. We don't usually get a lot of spring, like maybe one day, and then it goes into summer. So we've had kind of that cool spring thing going on most of April. So that's been kind of cool, kind of neat. Okay, it is, before we get to what's in your closet, it is, besides May Day, if you have a May Day tradition, tell me about it here in the comments at YouTube. I also have a question before I get to that. It doesn't have anything to do with May. But I have on Facebook a group called Kitchen Adventures, which is all about sharing like what you're cooking. And it's a small community. People share a little bit here and there. But I started thinking maybe that could be kitchen and crafts, or crafts and cooking kind of thing, so that when you have something, we have something to talk about other than quilting, like if you're sharing some other kind of craft that you've done that's not fiber oriented, that we could put it there. Or if you want to show me something, like people will buy gummy bears that look like bacon or something like that, or they'll show it to me. You could show it all in the crafts and cooking group if I change the name over to that and just made it a little bit more, a little bit bigger topic area. So leave me a note here at YouTube. Leave me a note here at YouTube, or go to the kitchen group and let me know. Don't ask in the quilt group, because we'll decline the post. We don't want that conversation in there. We want it either here at YouTube or at the kitchen group. Years and years and years ago, I had a forum, which is a totally different format of an online community. I hosted and ran it, paid for the platform and everything. And there you could have like categories. You could have a category for gardening, a category for cross stitch, a category for, cooking. And it was pretty cool. That was really cool. I ran that for quite a while. But people then had gravitated over to Facebook by that point. And so that's where I moved my community, because really nobody was staying on a forum. But we can have that kind of same concept in the kitchen group, but I don't want to have more than 2 groups. No. That's would be way too much to monitor. So it's just a thought. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I just want to see what people think, if you would use it. Even if we don't use it a whole lot, it would be kind of nice to open it up to like a more broader range of topics. All right, besides May Day, and if you have May Day traditions, I don't have a May Day tradition. Just be happy it's May. It is also Mother Goose Day. So if you have a quilt with geese on it, yes, I'm sure you have a quilt with geese or fabric that has geese on it, share it in the quilt group today, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook. This cool, do you remember when the statues, the geese were super popular? People would have them in the yard and they would put outfits on them. See, now you could share a picture of that if you had one in the other group, if I opened it up to other topics. See, that's the kind of thing. We could share pictures, because on YouTube we can't share pictures, and sharing pictures at my, I don't always have a blog post, and so that's really not effective because you can't comment. There's no interaction or community there. So yeah, trying to find a way to have just a little bit more fun, and it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for to belong to Patreon or anything like that to do this. It would just be free over there. Okay, what's in your closet? We only have 2 blocks, so just 2 items. So now, before I show you, think what do you think it might be? Do the countdown clock. Play the music. It is shoes. Can't complete, well, most of us wear shoes with our outfits, except for maybe those of you who love to go barefoot all the time. I'm not a barefoot person, I'm a shoe person, and for many years I had quite a few shoes. And I do love shoes. My feet don't love shoes. I love to wear them. I like to wear shoes, but my feet are wide, and as I've aged, they've not gotten any easier for me to deal with. So I have to buy wide shoes, and they just are not cute. I'm sorry, they're just not cute. Or they're super, super mega expensive if they are kind of cute. So I wear really basic shoes. Just the way of life now. That's okay. I enjoyed them, the fun shoes, when I had the fun shoes. Okay. And there was a big discussion with the ambassadors on red sneakers one day because Kendall wears red sneakers. And then, of course, everybody started noticing other people had red sneakers on after he mentioned that. So if you wear red sneakers, tell me about it. All right, and here's the block. And then I did it as a table runner because, you know, it's May and you have lots of other things to do. So if you want to do a little bit of a bonus, you can do 3 blocks and just give yourself a cute little table runner. So block 15 goes here. Let's take a look. Let me get the other camera and let's take a look up there. There are all the blocks. Wow. So I think I want to bring in the dark, just like this. I want to bring in that black down here. And let's take a look at that black. That is the medallion print. And this block lends itself so well to fussy cutting those medallions. And so that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to give you just a little tip on fussy cutting. Are you a big fussy cutter? Do you like to take the fabric and create the image so that it's either centered or does something interesting for the block? It is a very fun thing to do. It does waste some fabric, and so sometimes you have to buy a bit more fabric in order to get that effect. I think it's worth it because it's a lot of fun to do, but you know, that's one of the downfalls of it. So you have to have some tools, you know, like I like to use some sort of tape that I can see on the ruler. This is called washi tape, and you can get it all kinds of places. It comes off easily. That's what it will do. So I've marked the 3.5 inch for getting one of these pretty medallions. I also want to mark where the center is. I want to point to the center, or I could cut a dot, but I'm just going to use one of these arrows from these ruler stickers by my friend Gudrun, and I'll show you that in 1 second. First, here is what I'm going to do, and I have already made the 4 corners, and basically this is a 2-inch square, so that dot is at the 1 by 1, and the 1 by 1, let me just show you that. Let me zoom in. So on a 2-inch block, half of a 2-inch is 1 inch right there. This is 1 inch, that's 1 inch. So this little intersection, I wanted on that dot when I cut. So that made it super easy to do this one. So you can see there, I've already cut it, but you just have to get that dot centered in the middle of your block. And you know, it's much easier to see that with my eye than it is on camera. But if you're having trouble, you could put like a little white sticky there, or cut something off, just a little dot off of here, and put on there. Now, what we're going to be doing next is cutting from the 3.5 by 3.5. And I have to find the halfway point for 3.5 by 3.5. What is half of 3? 1.5. So 1.5 is half of 3. What's half of a half? 1/4. So I'd have to go 1.5 plus 1/4, and that is 1 3/4. So the 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 mark will be the center dot. The center dot, and of course it will be bigger, of course. So, and I am going to use the smaller ruler. I'm going to use this ruler here. So I've already visually marked off my 3.5 by 3.5, and then I am going to take a little arrow and point it to 1 1/4. So I have got, let me just pull in. Let me pull in because, you know, with all the little lines and everything, it's kind of nutty, but you can get it figured out. So I find it's, okay, so I've got over here 1 1/2 plus another 1/4 is 1 1/2 plus another 1/4. So basically this point at the tip of this is 1 3/4. So 1 1/2 is this heavier line, plus the next line is another 1/4 of an inch. I want to run it down until it meets that same 1/4 of an inch running horizontal. The vertical and horizontal meet, and it'll be right at that point. And that is what I'm going to put in the center of a medallion and get a bigger one. I do need 5 of these if I'm going to make them all pretty. And so there are 2 sort of styles. This sort of quieter one and the one that has, you know, more going on. The problem is over here, they are not, you know, I can't. Well, they're just, oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, you can't see that. There we go. This is right on the edge, which means there's a seam allowance, and that will be right on the edge. That means I can get maybe 3 of these. I am going to take and cut up. I'm going to take and cut like this to get, like, this is a little bit wide. That gives me a little bit to play with. Okay, so I've got a little bit to play with, and now I'm going to put my center right there is at 3 3/4, 3 3/4, and you can see it's over the white a little bit. And I am just going to cut that off like this. So now you can see there's tiny little white. That's going to be in my seam allowance. So totally, totally good. And now I need to do my 3 1/2. Make sure that's on the dot. Make sure that's in the center right there. And then I will trim the other 2 sides. And voila. This is way more frugal than I was expecting. So there we go. This is the first one of the 5, and I will do the other 4, and I think I can get both of them here. Oh yeah, so that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Super cool. Let me get them all cut now and sew the block and show you. Before I decide if this is what I want, it's kind of like, I like, when I've done this block before, I like it to be sort of in the background a bit, this part. But if I wanted it a bit stronger, what I could do is just audition a piece of fabric underneath. So I folded this so it's about the right size. And then if I put the 4 corners and the center, is that 2 there? Yeah. So you get the idea without me having to cut another piece of fabric. There. So it's a little bit stronger visually than these guys. A little bit softer, which, yeah, so that's how that would look. Like maybe you wouldn't use, maybe it wouldn't be this is the medallion again, but it could be, you know, it could be, whoops, it could be like this fabric. You know, you could audition that one, but I think I'm going to go with the light one. My shoe block with all the fussy cutting. Oops, get that up there. Get that up there. There's all the fussy cutting. That wasn't so bad with marking it off and just being careful, and also so excited that I could get 3 of them along that edge so that I had as much less waste than I was expecting. And it just worked out perfect. It worked out so perfect. Okay, so let's take a look at some of your blocks from last week in a little quilt parade. Carol kicks off with a pajama block from What's in Your Closet, and she's using my drawing room, which looks gorgeous. And she has a story that her mom made her Shirley Temple doll PJs. Isn't that sweet? So this reminded her of that. So fun. Cindy's, oh, look at the bees, the fussy cut bees, and look how they're like swarming around. See how she rotated them? So they're kind of going counterclockwise. I love it, love it, love it. Debbie's is pink, 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 and she has the flamingos on dots. So fun, love it. Jan's has a gorgeous plaid, and then look at the little bicycles. Those are so cute, and the yellow fabric has bicycle wheels. Love that. So our ambassador Kendall, a reminder that he does videos for all of my What's in Your Closet. He also does videos for some of the other ones, like the box lanterns, the paradise lanterns, and he runs videos of his own projects. And so you can go see how he puts things together. And then he gave a sneak peek of his all set, minus the remaining blocks. Look at that. So good. Linda's is gorgeous in like a teal and green plaid. I love that plaid too. Really nice. Mary's has got a chicken in the middle, and it makes kind of like a plus sign. That is so cool. It's another way of looking at it. Melissa, our ambassador, with her bear fabric. That's in the tan blocks of the 9 patch. And then look at the moose. Oh, so fun. Sandy's is pink, so dusty, sweet pink, and a gorgeous fussy cut flower in the middle. Anna's different Sandy, and hers is sunny yellow. I love this so much. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It just feels happy. Let's see, Sharon's here, and she has this cute little guy in the middle, little patriotic fellow. He is super cute. Super, super cute. And then we have another, we have a Shirley. Sorry, that was Sharon. This is Shirley. Here's Shirley's block in like the kind of rust color and this gorgeous fabric. She fussy cut birds in all 4 of the print blocks. And then here are all hers together. Her family portrait. Look at this. Ah, I'm loving how it's coming together, Shirley. Val's. Here is Val's. So pretty. Peaches and navy, peach and navy with some gray, and then a lot of hers together. I don't know if that's all of them or not. It might be. Looks so good. She's got teal in the mix. So here is, we've got some bonus ones here too. Here is mine from the solstice, and I use the strawberry fabrics. And then I have another bonus here. This is from Connie, and she put together 12 of the blocks in the 12-inch size. Then she did a custom center with fussy cutting, some flowers, and it's all quilted and done. Look at this, and she used some of my Morrison Park in the blocks. And then another bonus, this one is from Heather, and she used block number 13 in repeat with sashing. Look how gorgeous it is. Her border fabric she used as the background and center for each of the blocks. So look how effective that is. And the cornerstones. So there is a super great way to use a floral that you might have quite a bit of, so that you can use it for all of the backgrounds like that. And then pulling it back out to the border is just brilliant. Thank you everybody for sewing along. The parades have been so fun, so fun. You guys are doing such a great job. But I have a surprise, a little surprise. Some of you may have recognized this if you have my tantalizing, get it up here, tantalizing table toppers book. I use this block in here for, what did I call it in here? For a multi-block version called Family Gathering. And I use this gorgeous, gorgeous purple and cream with a little bit of green in it. See a little bit of green? And you see how with the multiple blocks, how I wanted that sort of square behind it to be very light so that it wasn't really competing. You know, I wanted it to sort of blend back. This was a beautiful line. I think it was a line by Jan Paytek a few years back, maybe 5 years back. And look at the quilting. My friend Cindy did this curve, and then inside each of these, I'll hold this one here, hopefully you can see it. I'm going to show you the back then. There's this really big flower, but here you can see it on the back. I think you can see it, hopefully you can see the flowers. So cool. And this particular pattern I put in here with a recipe. I put in my mother-in-law's cake. Here it is. Madge's apple cake. Now this is a recipe my mother-in-law did some cooking. Not a ton, not a ton, but this was one of the things that was in her repertoire. And so Imagine's apple cake. And my editor for Martingale baked this one. She loves to cook and bake, Karen, and she did a fabulous job. She wanted to test the recipe out, and she had some friends and they tried it, and she said it was just 100% awesome and you should make it. So if you have my Tantalizing Tabletopper book, which you can get in a PDF, so you can do an instant download if you prefer PDF books or you're outside the United States and really don't want to pay for shipping, you can do that. Okay, my friend, there you go. Another Block Wednesday in the books. It is shoes, and I can't wait to see your block. I love you. Mwah. Oh yeah, wait. Before, remember, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about opening the food group to have crafts and food. Anything non-quilting. So I love you. Mwah. Thanks for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.